never want to come here. You know what I mean? I'd rather be at home and work. You know what I mean? No, this has been awesome. Absolutely, this is one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. Really, I mean, a year ago we would have never ever imagined that we'd be in wherever this is, the Caribbean. I don't know where we're at. In Costa Rica, off the coast of Costa Rica, out of the catamaran, out in the ocean, just enjoying life with some of the coolest people in the world, making more money than I've ever made in my life. Just doing cool stuff. I mean, it's really awesome. Never, like I said, thought this would ever happen. It's all thanks to the Empower Network. It's just a blast.
What makes Empower different than some of the other network marketers? Talk about the Daves.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I promote some other stuff. You know what I mean? Because hey, I make money any way I can, and we interact with a lot of different company owners and the people, leadership inside of companies. And I was just telling my wife this before we came. It really sucks because they restrict you a lot. I mean, and they don't give you the freedom that Dave does, that Dave and Dave do. I mean, they're real people. They're just some of the most genuine people I've ever met. They're some of my best friends, and I've never been able to say that about anybody in any company I've ever been involved with. I mean, they've reached out to me. They spent personal time with me and helped me in my business. They're just the coolest stinking people in the world. I mean, really. There's a lot of things I wouldn't do if I wouldn't get paid, and granted, I might not do all the stuff I do in Empower if I didn't get paid, but I'd come here and hang out with these guys, whether I was making money or not, because they're just that stinking cool, you know what I mean? And if you're going to be in business with somebody, you want to be in business with people that you like, you know what I mean? And they're there for you, that really believe in you and your potential, and that lift you up, you know what I mean? The reason I am where I am right now, which is a place where I never thought I'd be in my life, it's because when I didn't believe myself, the owners, Dave Wood, Dave Sharp, they looked me in the eye and they said, "I believe in you. You can do this." And I said, "Well, maybe they're right. I'll just try." And I tried, and I'm telling you, it worked. Something happened. Something snapped, and my life has changed. And I don't think it'll ever be the same. And I'm just so thankful for the Empower Network. Thankful to be here in Costa Rica on this catamaran with all these awesome people, making all kinds of money, and just being able to interact, learn from them, so I can further in my business. So that's my story.
Well, real quickly, what would you say to someone? Some people are on the fence about coming to Costa Rica, they didn't come. What would you say to someone who's really thinking about, should I go to this event or should I go to the next event?
Right, you should definitely go. Don't sit on the fence. Jump all in, because here's the thing: if you have made the decision that you're going to be successful, and then you don't believe in your mind that you're going to be, you're not going to be here, right? But if you do like I did 12 months ago and believe this was possible and decided, I don't give a flip what I got to do, I don't give a flip where I got to be, I can do this, and I'm going to do this.
Guys, this is Dave Wood talking to you from my home out in the mountains in Costa Rica. I'm super excited about the material that I'm about to present to you in this video, and to start this video off, I'm going to teach you something in the first 5 minutes that's going to be worth $100,000 to you just in the next year. If you decide to listen, if you decide to take action, you decide to listen to what I say, take notes on it, and implement it into your business. And what I'm going to teach you in this very moment, right in the first few minutes of this video, is how I actually plan and deliver sales presentations. See, most people, when they see a video like this, when they see a video with screens, screen shares or slides or words going by or whatever, most people meticulously plan word for word what they're going to say. And I actually, not only do I not do that, but I also get tremendously better results than almost anybody in the entire industry from my sales videos. In fact, the videos that you're seeing, that you've watched as you've gotten involved and as you've made decisions and as you've purchased products in Empower Network, those videos have now done $13 million in sales just in the last 10 months, our first 10 months of existing as a company. It's sponsored more than 50,000 people, and here's the beauty of them. All of these videos, 100% of them, all the content, everything that's coming out of my mouth right now comes from my unconscious mind and is delivered spontaneously in the moment as I'm coming out with it. I'm going to teach you how I do that. Wouldn't you like to know? How would you like to be able to construct a video, construct a blog post, write an article, write an email, that the email or the blog post or the video spontaneously comes out of your unconscious mind and gets people to do exactly what it is that you want? You ready for it? I'm going to teach you the process of how it is that I do that. It's really fascinating. It works every time. I've taught other people how to do it. And as we go through this video, this is going to be the first of many things that you're going to learn that are going to be worth, check this out, $6 million to you over the course of this video. I'm going to teach you exactly why in a moment. So how do I do it? Well, the first thing that I do is I have a purpose that I set for making everything that I create. Nothing that I do is without purpose. When I make a video, I construct a clear, concise purpose for the video. For example, this video, the purpose of this video is to teach you the strategies and the skills and to give you the resources and the tools and the opportunity to make $100,000 per month in your business. That's the purpose of this video. So first thing that I do whenever I make a video is I have purpose that I do to make the video. The second thing that I do when I make a sales presentation is I create a loose outline. Now, I'm not going to teach you in this video how I create my outline. The reason I'm not going to teach you how to do it is not only do I not have time, but it's not the purpose of the video, and there's a lot of other cool concepts that I'm going to share with you, and I'm also going to share with you where you can find out how to make outlines like that in a moment. Okay, so I make an outline after I make my purpose to support the purpose of the video. Second thing that I do. What's the third thing that I do? Third thing that I do is I brainstorm for a few minutes of stories that I could use as I'm doing my sales presentation. I just think of some things that have happened to me. I think about experiences that I've had in my life. For example, I might decide that I'm going to use the story of how I met my wife. I don't know if you guys have heard that story in any of my sales videos where I was about to walk out of the store and then I just made a decision at the last moment spontaneously. I walked up to my wife, I said hello, and I said, "Excuse me, you're the most beautiful woman that I've ever seen in my entire life, and I know you're with this." I don't know if you've ever heard that video, heard that story before. If you haven't, go back and watch the rest of my sales videos. So I'll come up with stories, okay, that I'm going to use in my videos. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with patterns that I'm going to construct in my language as I make the videos that I've learned from listening to a lot of successful people. See, what I do is exactly what I teach you to do. I drive around in my car. I wake up in the morning when I'm taking walks to the hills. I'm constantly engaging my mind. I'm constantly listening to content from people that make more money than me, from people that inspire more people than me, from people that have do things that I've never done in my entire life. And so I've got a lot of information, a lot of language patterns from a lot of successful people in my brain all the time. It's why you've bought the Inner Circle, hopefully, and why you're listening to it every day. So we can teach you over the next few years how you can do the exact same thing. So I'll put some patterns in language. Now, I'm also not going to go over the language patterns in this video, but I put patterns of language that I'm going to use, and this whole process, right, takes about 10 or 15 minutes. Next thing that I do is I plan my call to action in the video, and I plan the purpose of what I'm going to teach people how to do at the end and what I'm going to tell them to do at the end. Now, here's the important thing that I want you to take from this. Every single thing that you do, everything that you create, every decision that you make needs to have purpose, and it needs to tell people exactly what to do, just like I'm going to tell you exactly what to do to get $100,000 a month now in your business in this video. So it tells people what to do. I have a story that's associated with the call to action. I have language that's associated with the call to action. Now that's the formula for how I construct a sales presentation. I spend 15 minutes on it. That's it. Never anything more. And then, this is the key. This is the key. What I do is every time I have a successful experience in my life, every time I have an emotionally empowering experience, every time I have a memory that I created something that I've never been able to create in the past, I fire off what's called an emotional anchor, which is a physiological movement that anchors in emotions into your body, into your physiology. Of course, I learned that from Tony Robbins. And so my physiological anchor that I fire off, and you guys will see me doing it if you sneak around backstage ever at presentations, is this. Boom. And I do that every time I have an emotionally empowering experience. So, for example, last year I did a speech at an MLSP event, okay? There's about 300 people in the room. I had people, by the end of this presentation, not only throwing their credit cards at me, they were literally pulling cash out of their pockets, and they were throwing it at me to buy a product at the end of this presentation. They didn't know what they were buying, they didn't know what I was selling, and they were literally pulling money out of their pocket. They were throwing money at me in a frantic craze to buy thin air, literally thin air. And one of these days I'll show you guys that video. So after that presentation, after that experience happened, I walked to the back of the stage outside that, And I recalled the emotion of standing there, having 300 people in front of me, literally taking money out of their pockets, literally pulling out their credit cards and throwing them at me. And by the way, I am not exaggerating at all. This happened. They were throwing money at me. And I walked backstage. I stepped into that moment. I stepped into that memory. And I said, boom. And I anchored that experience into my physiology. Now, here's what happens. I've been doing that for years. Every time I have a powerful emotional experience, if I have an experience with my wife where I just feel like I'm flowing, like I feel like I'm in the state, like I feel like I'm full of power, I feel like I'm inspired, if I ever feel that feeling where I feel like I literally have the ability to command the elements around me, I don't. But when I feel like I do, I say, boom, like that. Now, you can make an anchor whatever you want it to make, but here's what happens. What happens is you create boom, a physiological response in your body, boom, where you carry the memories from your past with you into the moment. And when you get in an environment where you're speaking, where you're making a video, where you're doing a presentation, you can fire off that physiological state, boom, just like that. And you can bring the powers of the memories of the past into the moment. Now, here's what I'm going to teach you that's compelling and powerful. You need to have a purpose. You need to have an outline that'll take you 10 to 15 minutes to do when you learn how to do it, okay? And then you fire off that anchor, and that will put you into an emotional state of power and flow, and that is where my presentations come from. Because here's why, and here's what I want to teach you as we go through this presentation. The power of spontaneous action, the power of hypnotic persuasion, the power of your unconscious mind is so much more powerful, it's so much more ethereal, it's got so much more force in your life than anything that you know how to do consciously, that when you, boom, pull on the powers of your unconscious, when you remember a time when you were powerful, when you remember a time when you were in the flow, when you remember a time when you were speaking and people did exactly what you want them to do, when you remember a time when in the past you were standing there in front of somebody that you loved, looking into their eyes and told them, I love you, and you recall that emotion and you recall that power and you fire off that emotion, and then you get up in front of a group of people, in front of a video camera, and you say, boom, you literally can convey the power of those emotions through your unconscious mind right into your audience, and as you're watching this and listening to that, don't you feel that power? Don't you feel that emotion? Don't you feel that success as I'm speaking these words? That's because I fired off my emotions, and you're feeling them too. Here's the other thing, though. Every piece of knowledge you have on influence, on persuasion, if you've ever been sold something and not known why you bought the product, whatever it is that you've bought in the past, whatever it is that you've sold in the past, successful experiences that maybe weren't as successful as you wanted, all of those resources are available to you in this moment with the power of your unconscious mind. And you can call on them in any moment by firing off that anchor. And when you do that, rather than having a planned presentation with perfect words, you're literally pulling on the power of the unconscious, and your unconscious mind can control over 2 million pieces of information simultaneously. Your conscious mind can only control tops 7 to 9. So who would you rather have build your presentations? For me, it's your unconscious mind. Does that make sense? So what did Chris Daugherty learn 12 months ago is the subject matter of this video. And how can you take that information and go from 0 to 10,000 a month, from 10,000 to 100,000 a month? Well, what I wanted to do is I wanted to take you through my journey of success, my journey of power, my journey of prosperity, and the struggle that I went through in the past in my business. And I'm going to show you how to go from there to $100,000 per month. That will be worth to you a lot of money, and I'm going to talk to you about why that is as we go through these experiences, as we go through this video. So I started out of the backside of a Dodge 1996 Caravan back in 2009. I had no money. I had no resources. I literally had struggled in businesses and in companies for years. There was no reason why I should have had success instantly. However, something happened to me. I learned the secret that you're going to learn in this video. And all of a sudden, it was like all the powers in my past came to me. And 3 months later, I was earning $30,000 per month. I am going to tell you something that I haven't talked about a lot. When that happened to me, when I had that experience where I was making videos and I was writing articles, I literally would get lost in the power of my unconscious from the time I woke up till the time I go to bed. And it was like pure, raw energy and inspiration was coming out of me, spontaneously creating my decisions as I went through that 3-month period of time. That entire experience came from my unconscious mind. I want to tell you about one particular experience that I had. It was the month that I went from $3,000 a month to $30,000 a month. It was my 3rd month in the business. This is back in 2009, where I had the opportunity to do a presentation where I got to have 1,000 people on a webinar, and I had the opportunity to sell them a product. I knew that this moment could change the course of my business. I knew that that moment could change my life. So what did I do? I set a purpose for that presentation. I constructed an outline. I did take longer than 10 to 15 minutes. I brainstormed the stories, the principles, the patterns that I'm going to use, the language that I was going to use in that presentation. And then what I did was I constructed my call to action with stories and languages and patterns. And then I woke up and I realized 3 days had gone by. And I don't even know what had happened. But I'd had these slides, right, that I just knew something amazing was about to occur. I got on that webinar. I had never in my life, ever, from any experience, made more than $5,000 ever in a 30-day period of time. I had never made more than $5,000 in a month. I was already making the most I'd ever made from network marketing. I was already the #1 recruiter in my company. I was already the #1 recruiter in a system. And I got on that webinar, and something came over me. It was like I was speaking from a river of inspiration. It was like words were being constructed as I spoke them. It was like there was an energy coming out of my emotions as I gave that presentation. And an hour later, the commission started to roll into the email. Commission notification after commission notification after commission notification after commission notification. 2 hours later, I'd earned more than $12,000 in an evening. So how do you go from zero to making more than you'd ever made in your life, to being the #1 recruiter in your company? I mean, literally from a van, to being the #1 recruiter, to all of a sudden $12,000 in an evening, to where after that point in time, I've never, ever, ever not made at least $30,000 to $45,000 a month, right? And for the last year, I haven't made less than $100,000 a month. And I make a lot more money than that now. And how do you do that? You do that by tapping into the power of your unconscious mind. You do that by tapping into the resources that rule the universe. You do that by understanding the things that I'm going to cover in this presentation. Because there's a reason why you haven't been getting the results that you want. And I don't care if it's going from 0 to 10,000 a month. And I don't care if you're at 0 and you've been struggling for 30 years. It doesn't matter if you've been doing that for 30 years. And it doesn't matter if you're stuck at 10,000 a month and you need to go to 30. Because being stuck is being stuck. For me, I got stuck at 30,000 a month, and a lot of you guys are stuck at 30,000 a month. You've been stuck there for a year. And stuck is stuck. I'm going to show you how to tap into your power. And here's what happens. You have certain experiences in your life when things come together, when meanings come together, when all of a sudden nothing makes sense, and the next moment you're filled with power. And it's those moments in your life when you can change and make a decision that completely control your future. And I'm going to show you in this video how to do that by moving through what I call the 4 phases of business. I'm going to break down for you the formula of $100,000 per month. Okay? And I want you to relax as you watch this video. Because the truth is, this information is not for everybody. Not everybody is going to make a decision to buy the master's course, which is obviously what we're selling in this video. Of course, we're selling something here, folks. Not everybody's going to make a decision to buy. Not everybody wants $100,000 a month. Not everybody wants to be able to tap into the power of the instantaneous because they don't like making decisions quickly. They don't like doing things too fast. Some people like to think about things. Some people like to stay stuck. Some people enjoy the emotion of feeling safe doing what they've been doing in the past. And other people who watch this video, they know, and they know, and they know that they need this information. And they're going to make a decision. And I'm going to show you guys how to create the formula. So what did Chris Daugherty learn 12 months ago. Well, there are 4 phases in building your business, and this is what I'm going to cover for you over the course of this video. Phase number 1, okay, I'm going to write it up here, is the grind. Okay? Now, the grind, get a different pen out, I've got loads of markers. The grind, okay, you're going to do whatever you've got to do to avoid. You're going to do whatever you've got to do to avoid. You're going to call on the forces of your mind to avoid in any way you possibly can the pain of just taking action, the pain of just making decisions, the pain of tapping into the power of your confidence and actually getting results. See, you've got to reach inside yourself and make a decision. Make a decision. Just like you decided what school you're going to go to. Just like you decided maybe who you're going to marry. Just like you perhaps decided where you're going to live. Just like you decided your vocation. You've got to make a decision that you're willing to go through the period of time where you're working and working and working on faith before you create results. And how long does the grind take? The grind doesn't take any period of time. It could take a week. The grind could take 90 days. The grind could take a year. It never takes longer than 90 days to get out of the grind if you understand that there's something next. So it's going to take anywhere from 7 to 90 days to get through the grind. Now, what does the grind do, though? The grind is the most beautiful experience you could ever have in your business. The grind is that period when you go from zero to hero. The grind is that image you can create where you can say, I'm the homeless van man that tapped into my inner power, that got rich on the internet, who makes $500,000 a month. The grind is that period of time where the story that you create, you're going to be telling for the rest of your life. There's an emotional power that you need to call on to get through the grind successfully. And a lot of you guys watching this video, this is where you're at. The grind is anybody making less than $10,000 a month, which, by the way, is most of you. I'm going to show you how to get from $0 to $10,000 a month by the raw power of your will. Now, there's phases that come after that. What's the next phase? Scaling your marketing, right? If you're smart, and if you listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth, you're going to buy this course, and you're going to learn how to scale your marketing. And you're going to buy all the products in Power Network because you're going to get all in. Why are you going to do that? You're going to do that to lead by example. You're going to do that because you know that it's right. And you're going to do that because if you do it, we're going to show you things that you literally are not going to learn anywhere else on the internet. But you've got to go through and you've got to learn how to reinvest your profits to grow your business bigger. It is the core reason why most people who get to an income level stay stuck, because they're not willing to make a decision to reinvest their profits back into their business. Obviously, we talked about that from day one in the Power Network. We have a little bit less of an issue with it. However, there's a lot of you that haven't made a decision to do that yet. And there's some skills that you've got to learn. So in the Master's course, we actually teach you how to get through the grind. We actually teach you how to scale your marketing. Now, how long does this take you to get through this phase? Folks, this is a phase. This is not a be-all and an end-all of your business. This is a phase that you need to get through. You can get through the scaling your marketing phase in 30 to 90 days. All right? That you can get to. Now, what's going to happen as you go through? Well, the grind is going to get you to $10,000 per month, right, which is a $100,000 a year income. Scaling your marketing is going to get you to $30,000 per month, right? That's about where it's going to tap off. You could get maybe to $50,000 a month without doing anything extra. The reality is, though, most people, they're not going to hit over $30,000 a month. They're going to get stuck there, just like I got stuck there, if they don't progress to the next phase. What's the next phase? The next phase is called duplication. All right? Now, I've made fun of duplication in the past, mostly because when people say duplication, they mean three-way calls and home parties, and I think that stuff's bullshit. The reality is, though, is you need a way to create success in your team. You need a way to convey what you're doing through a group of hundreds of thousands of people, or your team won't grow to hundreds of thousands. There's some skills involved in doing that we teach you in the Master's course. We teach you how to build teams of 20 and 30,000 people without picking up the phone. We teach you how to put together large organizations instantly, quickly, and fast. We teach you how to tap into your inner power to get the results that you want. Next thing that we're going to teach you how to do is we're going to teach you how to create systems. What's a system? A system is a way to take a skill, a way to take an energy, a way to take a power that one person has and give that as a gift to the masses. We're going to teach you how to do this. Systems can get you to $100,000 a month. Learning how to systematize a skill. I can give you an example after example after example of people that went from $50,000 a month to $100,000 a month, utilizing and understanding the power of systems in their business. You need to understand it, and we're going to teach you how. The next phase that you go through, and this is the big one, is understanding culture. Understanding why people do the things that they do, and understanding how to lead groups of hundreds of thousands of people. This here is a $500,000 to $1 million to $5 million a month income mastering these skills, right? So what am I going to show you how to do in this video? I'm going to show you how to go from 0 to the biggest I've ever done, because I don't believe in teaching past that. The biggest I've ever done is about $600,000 a month. So what would that be worth to you if I could teach you how to do that now? Here's what it's going to be worth to you. I want you to think about this for a minute. Now, not only that, I'm going to give you the ability in this video to earn $3,000 100% commissions. $3,000 commissions, guys. I'm going to give you that power. I'm going to give you that ability to get those commissions now. I'm going to show you how to construct this process and get to $1,000. I'm going to show you how to get to $100,000 a month in 90 days or less. I'm going to break down the formula as we go through this video. I'm going to show you how other people have done it. I'm going to show you how I did it. I'm going to show you how Dave Sharp has done it. And we're going to prove to you that it works. And we're going to prove it through the science of moving through the phases of marketing in your business. This is what we taught in the master's course. This is what created breakthroughs for people. This is what created breakthroughs for me. This is what enabled me to go from a van man to tapping into my inner resources, to tapping into the power of my unconscious mind, and being able to get from 0 to $600,000 a month. Now, $600,000 a month is a little unrelatable. I mean, folks, this is like literally 100 times a fairly median income in America, $60,000 a year, and I'm making 100 times that. A homeless van man, I'm making 100 times their income. 100 times. Right? How am I doing that? I'm doing that because I realize that after I master something, there's always something next. But you got to start in the beginning, and so this is where we start in the master's course. We led an army of people how to get through that phase where they create their story and they get to their first $10,000 a month. What did I teach Chris Daugherty 12 months ago? I teach it to you in the master's course. Not only that, folks, I'm going to show you how to tap into your resources and how to change the world around you. I'm going to show you how to change the world around you, how to change people, how to literally get inside people's hearts and get them to make the decisions, guys, that they've always wanted to make, but they've been held back. They haven't known how to tap into their resources. And you can literally get in their heart and you can get them to change. When do we teach you that? We teach you that when we talk about culture. And before I move on, I want to show you something that literally had me in tears. I don't cry a lot, right? My wife says I'm kind of emotionless sometimes. Not really. I'm full of emotion. But this, I was in tears from this, guys. I heard a story when we were at the Master's Retreat from a guy's experience from being involved in our culture, where not only did we change his life, Empower Network saved it. I'm going to play the video for you now. Greater vision here of what to do. I appreciate you coming in. You want to share?
I wanted to share this. Well, first I want to say I'm so jacked up being here. I'm so pumped up. This is the best experience I've ever had in my life, actually. First vacation ever, and well deserved. But, I'd like to say I met the best people out here anywhere in my life, and I'd like to show my appreciation for that. You guys sharing experiences, amongst each other, and that you can't get that anywhere else in my life, and I just want to throw that out there. And thanks for welcoming me, as just a person, as a friend, no judgments made here whatsoever. And but there is one thing I do need to share, and I need to get that out there. And just a few weeks ago, actually, it wasn't a regular day for me at work. Actually, the whole weekend was pretty bad. I was going through a tough situation, and I'm in the medical field, and what I was actually contemplating and thinking of was ending my life, actually. And I was thinking of how I was going to do it and actually gather supplies my job to be able to do what I can go into details of what, but anyway, I didn't have the belief that things happen for a reason. I never believed things happen for a reason. And so I was driving home, and I lived in Southern California, about 2 hours east from San Diego, and it's actually 115 degrees right now. So it's usually over 100 degrees. But this particular day, it was actually pouring down rain. And as I was driving through this intersection, my car actually stalled. And there was hundreds and hundreds of cars going through, and just for some reason my car stalled. And I barely had enough momentum just to pull over on the side. And I was actually stuck there for 30 minutes. And I had the inner circle, one of the inner circles, actually the third inner circle, in my car, so I just started playing it. And as I got through it, there was one particular message that David Sharp said that really made me start believing in it. And it's, there is a bigger purpose for you in your life than what you're doing right now. And we're here to do it together. And in that moment, I started to calm down, and I was able to just, it's still like, you said those 30 minutes, but I was able to start being able to get rid of those bad thoughts, and I was able to start to overcome that issue. It was actually a 12-year-old issue that I had, and it wasn't until then I was able to overcome it. And the rest is history. I went home, and the next day was one of the best days of my life.
Give it a hand, everybody! Now, I want to tell you what happened to me when I saw that video, when I saw that happen, because of course, I stand in the room, is I had to sit down. You see me sit down in the video, because I had tears coming down my face. Because I realized that reaching into people and getting them to believe in themselves again, and getting them to believe they can do it, and getting them to believe that they can accomplish their dreams and goals, it not only changes their life, it not only helps them tap into their emotional resources, it not only helps them call on the forces of their past that are powerful, it can save their life, folks. And we've impacted people in hundreds of countries around the world through the power of what you are going to learn in this video. Now, here's what I want to convey to you before we continue on. What I want to convey to you is the value of $100,000 per month. Now, I'm not talking about $100,000 a month and working all day and night. I'm not talking about $100,000 a month and never seeing your family and never seeing your kids, never getting to travel the world, never getting to go to the beaches. I'm talking about how to create a passive wealth machine and an income of $100,000 a month now. Well, in the franchise world, they have a general rule of thumb on a cost for being involved in business. And here's what it is. If you want to make an income from a franchise, you need to invest 5 times what you're going to make annually to purchase the franchise. So, for example, if you want to make $500,000 a year in a franchise, not a month, what's that going to cost you? It's going to cost you right around $2.5 million, right? That's about what it is. That's about what a Sonic franchise is. You manage 17-year-olds all day. So in the business world, there's an actual tangible value associated with business income. And that's what it's worth to you if you have the ability to do this. It's worth $2.5 million to have a $500,000 a year business. And so people will go into debt for years, will go to college for years to learn things that we're going to teach you how to not only move past, but surpass in a short period of time. What's the value? The value is $2.5 million, right? What's the value? What's the value of $100,000 a month? The value of $100,000 a month, guys, is this. It's $6 million. $6 million. Why? Because $100,000 a month is $1.2 million in income every 12 months. From a business perspective, from a franchise perspective, from an MBA graduate perspective, that is a $6 million piece of education. It's a $6 million business. If you took your credit card out and somehow could swipe it for $6 million, which not really can, credit cards can't do that. That's what this is worth to you, to understand these concepts now. So I'm going to show you in this video not only how to tap into the power of your unconscious, not only how to construct sales presentations at will, not only how to get people to make spontaneous decisions, not only how to reach inside people's hearts and how to just transform them from the inside out, which, by the way, is really what we're about. I'm going to show you how we launched Empower Network, and we put 10,000 people in this business in our first 30 days. I'm going to show you how we survived 2 merchant shutdowns in the beginning of our business, and then still grew faster afterwards than we did before. When everybody thought we were going to be shut down, we persevered. I'm going to show you guys how to tap into emotional resources in times you've been successful in the past and carry those experiences into this moment right now. I'm going to show you how to tap into the power of what I call the instantaneous decision. What's the instantaneous decision? The instantaneous decision is something that just happens when you tap into the resources of your unconscious mind. Because as you do, you're going to realize something. That every memory in the past, every experience that you've had, everything that's ever happened in your life previous to this moment has led you here. And if you look back into the past, you can see things coming together in your life, experiences and moments in time when you've had aha moments, when you've had frustration, when you've had experiences where you've succeeded and then you've gone backwards a little bit and you've failed and then you've persevered and overcome them. You can literally tap into those resources right now. All the resources of your unconscious mind are available to you right now in this moment. All of them. All the power, all the experience, all the confidence, all of it are available to you now. So the moment of the instantaneous decision is something that all successful people learn to do regardless of whether they do it or not. And I'm going to talk to you about it in a moment when we come back. Before we do, I want to introduce you to some people that came to the Masters Retreat, share their experiences with you, share their experiences about what they learned, about breakthroughs they had. And then I'm going to come back to you. And I'm going to talk to you about the decision and your instantaneous power. So I'll see you guys in just a few moments.
I don't know if it's my first time getting top-level information while floating on a noodle in the ocean.
Make the decision for yourself, just like everyone else here has made the decision.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Chris Gardy coming to you live from the Costa Rica Masters Retreat, and we just got done with one of the best weekends I've ever had in my life.
This is where you want to go.
I had a great time.
Well, one of the cool things that I think we all learn as leaders is that sometimes we know things that are very integral parts of our business that seem to be second nature for us, that we don't break down, and we never think about breaking it down. And being here at this event helped me to break down some things about my team and a 7-step process that I think that everyone that was here could actually use once they get to the point where it's going to be value to them. They could use it, they could implement it into their organizations and pretty much model what I've done in my group to create the synergy, to create the loyalty, to create the enthusiasm, to create the stick-to-itiveness, to create just the fanatical rave that we have here with Empower Network.
Now we are in Costa Rica right now, somewhere in the Gulf of Papagayo, cruising around on this catamaran by the Costa Rica Masters Retreat. Right now,
The realization that I had being at the Masters Retreat was how much more headroom there is above where I am. And I knew there was, but it was presented today in a way that was very tangible, quantifiable, really easy for me to say, oh, wow, here's ABC 1, 2, 3, things that I can do to turn my monthly income into a weekly income. So my goal when I came here was to turn my annual income into a monthly income, and I did that. So now I see I can turn my monthly into a weekly. That's pretty exciting.
This weekend was one of the most amazing experiences I've had. I had so many breakthroughs this weekend, one of which was the fact that I've been overcomplicating things. I can't wait to get back to the States and apply everything that I've learned. Join in.
That's fantastic. I mean, you can't, there's no other lifestyle. I mean, this is what we all live for, is to have this kind of lifestyle and to be around each other in this type of environment, at this level of capacity. So, it's special.
The weekend here was fantastic.
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, honestly, we had the Thursday night introduction, and we had the Friday break, and then Saturday, Sunday. Honestly, after Thursday, I probably could have gone home. even Saturday, I was saying a couple of guys around here, and it's like, I pretty much got everything I need, and we still have another day left, which is pretty impressive.
Take action, make a decision, and do this right now. It's going to change your life. I've had a very unique experience this weekend at the Costa Rica Masters Retreat.
This is definitely the first time that I have taught any kind of Master Ninja, Jedi Master type training while floating around in the water on a noodle, holding puffer fish, and the fish was actually, he got in. The fish got in. He's already got several people enrolled. He's on his way.
It was the best thing I ever did in my life. It had more aha moments in it than I can even shake a stick at.
Take action on this content because it's something that has never been created before, and it could really change your life if you allow it to.
12 months ago, I just got online trying to figure out how to do this thing. I ran into Dave Wood, the co-founder of Empower Network, and he taught me some things that I don't think he shared with many people. And they've enabled me over the last 12 months to make over $100,000 in my business, mainly through the Empower Network.
The Daves, we love the Daves. We love them.
He truly loves people. So some of my favorite things about David is that he just loves people. Even like assholes, and I don't know why. But he just loves people. He doesn't judge them.
What's most special about them is they are who they are. They're real. I've had many people say when they watch my video, well, is that just an act? Is it just something they're trying to do? Or are they just trying to be shock value? It's not about shock. They're just real. They are who they are. They say what they think. They say what they feel because their life has become real. You can see as there's 2 drinks in my hand. We actually can't clip this microphone to my shirt. And he's like, where am I going to clip this? I'm like, well, maybe you just clip it to my nipple. I don't know.
I didn't know how to use systems. I didn't know how to actually run a larger business that wasn't going to, that I wasn't going to become a slave to. This weekend has taught me how to use systems. It's taught me how to scale my business up without it completely taking over my life, while still being a good servant to my team. And that is just an incredible breakthrough for me. I've had, so many breakthroughs this weekend. I can't even explain to you how much I've learned.
So the cool thing about the Masters Retreat and the Masters Program is that it's all about what's working now, but it's also timeless stuff. It's foundational stuff. It's fundamentals, so that you can it's nuts and bolts. It's stuff that you can put in your pocket, put to use in your business, and actually go out and create the kind of life you want right away.
And you get to discover, you get to see for yourself the differences between the people who are at the top and the people who are trying to get there, struggling. And by seeing that, you will have breakthroughs. You'll see what's holding you back. You'll relate to people at their level and your level, and then you'll have people pull you up, and you'll have people reflect you back to you, to where you can get a clear picture, a crystal clear picture of where you are. And that, my friends, is how you make the map to get to where you want to go.
Now, I never heard anyone sharing the kind of stuff that Dave shared with me 12 months ago until I got to this retreat.
Yeah, there's nothing like this in our profession, in our industry, in our niche, in the world that we live in. Every networker, every home business entrepreneur, every online marketer, every affiliate marketer has got to experience this at least 5 to 10 times.
Events like that are large-scale events here for the masses. Of course, everybody should be there. When you move to an event like what we're doing here in Costa Rica, these are the events where millionaires are made.
And there's some stuff that was shared here that went way beyond that.
First and foremost, I can bring my people here, and I know without a shadow of a doubt that they're absolutely safe.
So I'm going to recommend that you buy the product and that you get in and you watch it ASAP. Don't buy it and sleep on it. Buy it and start watching the first video and start taking notes and start applying the things that you're learning in your business right away, because you're going to have breakthroughs.
And so with the Daves and putting together this event here in Costa Rica, it was one of the most phenomenal Masters retreats I've ever been on. I've been on quite a few exclusive Master events, and this one was by far the absolute most exciting and best.
What was weird was that all these top leaders that make a lot of money in this industry that came together here this weekend, although I've never heard them say these things out in the public ever before anywhere I've ever heard them train, they all repeated the same things that Dave shared with me 12 months ago that enabled me to do the things that I've done in my business here.
This is where it starts, is from the top, the authenticity, the vulnerability.
The training and the education here is pretty much the only thing that's working in our industry right now.
And you need to get this product because it's going to do all that for you and more.
And I'm telling you, we shared some stuff here this weekend that you won't get anywhere, trust me.
This is breakthrough information. This is breakthrough networking, connecting.
And some of the stuff that I've taken out of this is going to take me way beyond where I've already come.
To do something like get this product.
And I'm just excited to be here. I'm glad we got to spend this time just hanging out in beautiful Costa Rica. If you have a chance to be here on the next one, you definitely want to do that.
So you need to pick up the master's course. These moments will go with people for the rest of their careers.
And if you're thinking about buying this product,
there's no other option. Pick it up.
Don't think about it anymore. Seriously, this thing will change your business, will change your life forever. The things they share here will enable you to take your business to levels you never even thought possible.
And I've had amazing breakthroughs where I've learned things that are going to actually make me thousands and thousands of dollars. I've had conversations with people on here that are literally going to make me $10,000, $20,000. That's why you need to be at events. That's why you need to get all in. That's why you need to get in the Empower Network. One is badass. Guys, is this badass?
Woo! Chances are, if you're not successful here online, it might be that you're not acting upon the right information. And this information that was shared here this weekend, it's amazing. So if you haven't checked that out yet, I think you need to check this Master Retreat out because it's an awesome product.
And what's crazy is once you realize what really makes business work, you'll kick yourself because it's really simple. But you just don't know what that simple thing is. So definitely get in this product, and we'll see you on the next retreat.
Everybody should have this. I mean, if you want to bring your business to the next level, if you want to bring Empower Network to the next level, just buy it.
This is right, and this is where you want to be.
It teaches you from A to Z, top to bottom, how to really, share your message and brand yourself as a leader, as an authority, as an expert on whatever it is you want to do. And that's something that
just get right in there and just buy it and learn that information. And I tell you, you're gonna get to where you want to go.
In my 7 years of doing this almost full time, I haven't seen anything like that, and that really says something that they're really
amazing. I came here a little bit confused, a little bit overwhelmed, but after going through the master's course, I now know how to go from $1,000 a month to $10,000 a month, and then expand beyond that. It is absolutely amazing. You need to buy this course.
And you have to get it. Like, you'd be crazy not to. This is going to take my business from the level of success that I've had to absolutely skyrocket it. And you'll see the results of that on stage.
Get all in.
And it's been wild. I mean, 5 days in an arena like this is worth 5 years out there, because it's where all the meetings and all the secret stuff happens that people always wonder, well, how do you know these people so well? And how did you learn all this? And
you want to have your breakthrough, get into Empower Network, get all in, buy the master's course.
I've had at least,